Monarch is building the future for those interested in one wallet that consolidates the best services and functionality into one simple and easy-to-use app. Monarch will empower users to control all aspects of their financial kingdom from the palm of their hand. You may have heard the phrase, not your keys, not your crypto. With Monarch, you own your keys and seed, meaning you own your crypto. With Monarch, you can store, receive, send, swap, buy, sell, and earn interest on your crypto, track your portfolio, the news, the market cap, and more today. We're constantly adding new services and updates too. Learn more today by visiting monarchtoken.io or download the wallet for free today from Apple or Google.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Beards and Bitcoins, a crypto podcast for the man's man. I'm your co-host, Jay Chains. Joined with me, as always, is my main man, my homie, BitBoy, Ben Armstrong. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good, man. The beard's growing back out.
Finally.
It's not going to be scruffing Bitcoins for long. We're going back to beards and Bitcoins, y'all.
I love it. I love it. Well, we got a special guest today with us. We are joined by Rob McNealy, who is the marketing partner for TUSC Network. Anxious to learn all about it and learn kind of what you guys are doing there at TUSC. Rob, how are you doing today, sir?
Great. I appreciate you guys having me on today.
Absolutely. I know that we've been trying to get you scheduled for a little while now, so finally made it happen. Really looking forward to learning all about TUSC and what you do there and how you guys do it.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I guess go back and do it. So I am also the co-founder of TUSC, but TUSC is a decentralized project. So there's like no CEO, no, company, LLC, anything like that. So
not your typical titles.
Right. So what we did is we started our project almost 2 years ago. During the height of the crazy euphoria in early 2018, late 2017, we launched ERC20 token called OCC. We did not do an ICO. We literally gave the entire supply away via faucets to the community. It was kind of an educational project. We were originally just basically creating educational content and teaching people how not to get scammed by all the scammers in crypto. And then it was kind of interesting that within a couple months, some of my friends who are business owners said, hey, Rob, we'd love to take your token if you can figure out payment integration to our websites. And so we spent a couple months going down rabbit holes of all that and then trying to integrate with some of the third-party payment gateways. They wanted astronomical amounts of money to integrate with them, which was ridiculous. And since we didn't do an ICO, we didn't have all this ICO funding to throw money at stupid things that wouldn't get an ROI in the first place. So we kind of came to a conclusion that summer about a year and a half ago that either we need to do something with the project that's a little different or we need to shut it down because it really just wasn't going to be able to do anything that we want to do. Being an Ethereum token, you have no control over the network. You don't get any value from the transaction fees that you're generating, and it's really horribly slow and doesn't scale. So we said, it was funny because the team was kind of on the fence of which way to go. And some of the members of the team said, hey, we never sold tokens. We gave them away. We don't have any more obligations if we wanted to walk. And I said, well, some people did actually buy tokens on exchanges, not from us, but they did. And I feel like we owe it to them to try to make something out of this project. So we lost our only developer at the time. And we decided to launch our own blockchain. And so we rebranded as TUSC, which stands for the Universal Settlement Coin. And we said we need to launch our own chain. So we spent a couple months recruiting a new developer team, and we did. And then we said, okay, we asked the question, what's our purpose? And we said we didn't want to be a smart contracts platform. We wanted to be a pure payments project because I still believe the killer app for crypto is payments. Even though a lot of major projects have given up on that, I still think that is what crypto should be used for. So what we did is we started looking and I like to ask questions. And I said, why hasn't crypto been adopted by the masses? Why aren't people actually using crypto for buying and selling goods and services? And we talked to a lot of people about this, smart people that are involved with our project and other projects. And we came to a general conclusion that a lot of projects that are out there are all developer-led. And unfortunately, a lot of developers have a real anti-sales and marketing bias. If you go talk to developers, they hate sales and marketing guys.
Yeah,
in fact, some of the guys on my team hate sales and marketing guys. But, Google and Twitter and Facebook wouldn't be anything if they didn't have their sales and marketing guys. And so a lot of the developers have this idea that if you build it, they will come. And that's a myth. That is not the real world. You can have the best technology, the best features. If you don't have a way to put your product in front of the people whose problems they solve, you're not going to get any traction. So we said, okay, so we need to have a product that's marketing focused. And so what we decided to do was apply, how do we create a decentralized project, yet still has the efficiency to be marketed and grown like a startup? And so what we did is, and this is really complicated, by the way, when you're building a new blockchain, I think the governance part is the hardest piece to figure out. We spend way more time trying to figure it all out than actually coding. And I think that's important because you want to have a good foundation and framework to build something. So we said, why don't we create a marketing partner? And the marketing partner is a term limited and elected vendor that works for the TUSC Network to grow it like a startup, and it gets a small piece of the block rewards to do that. And then every 3 years, it comes up for a vote of the people. And so we elected TUSC MP, which is the first marketing partner, and I am the owner of that company. And we have dedicated LLC for this process. We have open books. We still have to do everything for big purchases like listing fees and stuff. We still need to put in proposals and have the community vote on them. And the marketing partner doesn't have any votes. It is not allowed to vote. It doesn't have any say over governance or any other piece. It's literally a contractor. So we feel that's the best of both worlds. There's no owner for TUSC. There's no LLC, no CEO, but yet we still have the ability to grow it and do sales and marketing like a startup would. And then the next thing we decided to do is market segmentation. So a lot of people that are trying to get traction with crypto, they're just trying to throw marketing against the wall and hope that somebody will like it. And you get weird, like, okay, you got a sticker store that'll accept crypto here, and you get a food truck one time, accept Lightning there, and you're not getting anywhere with that. So to me, we started saying, okay, if you're going to try to get people to use a substitute payment method, and you want crypto to be that, you got to go talk to people that actually have what I call a recognized problem with those things. If you go to grandma doesn't have a problem using her Visa card at Joann Fabrics. Right. So if you want grandma to go buy something at Joann Fabrics on Bitcoin, if they even would accept it, you're saying, okay, grandma, you like your Visa card, it works great, but now use this Bitcoin thing. It's really complicated, super slow, super expensive, and you got to wait in line for 2 days to process your payment. Well, that doesn't make any sense because grandma doesn't have a recognized problem with her dollars. Now, we can get all the esoteric Federal Reserve and deflation and all that, but realistically, grandma doesn't have a problem that she recognizes. But there are several industries that do. There's actually about 6 industries that have very difficult recognized problems they're trying to solve, and they're all distasteful to somebody. So that's things like cannabis and gambling and pornography and cross-border payments and things like that. And
all the fun stuff.
And guns. Yes. And so we said, okay, so we rebranded as TUSC. Then we said market segmentation.
What was the project originally called?
OCC, Original Crypto Coin.
Okay.
We're tracked on CoinGecko, though we're delisted from all the exchanges right now pending when we did our swap, because we just completed our swap from OCC to TUSC on October 6th. So about recent. A month ago. Oh yeah, we just completed our swap. We did a 6-week swap period. We just finished that a month ago. We are literally going to begin trading in about a week. So we're just finishing the GUI on our wallet and our Explorer. That's all we're waiting on. And we just brought our block producers in onto the test net. Everything seems to be working. So we've been holding off bringing the block producers onto the main net until we just literally beat it all up. So we got to beat up the GUI a little bit, because once the block producers are in, we can't make any changes without a vote. And it just gets really complicated, because once we launch that, it's a completely on-chain governance. I don't have control anymore, which is the way it should be. So when we did it, so we looked at the industries that we feel have a recognized problem. And then of all of those, so we said, okay, we need to focus on one of those industries first. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to go to other industries, but our focus is kind of like thinking like Amazon. Amazon was a bookstore for 6-7 years before they really went on to other industries. Now, they always had a plan to do that, but they said, let's get traction and laser focus our efforts into one industry and spend all our energy there and get a critical mass. And then, so we decided to start with the lawful US gun industry. It's a huge market, 3 to 5 billion, just civilian guns and ammo in this country is a 3 to 5 billion market. The overall impact of the gun industry is up to 50 billion, depending on which industries you want to pull in, things like clothing and body armor and targets and everything else, right? So we started going to gun conferences and started talking to that industry, and we got a really, really good response to what we're doing. In fact, we already got 15 retailers that have said they will accept TUSC on launch. We have some major players in the gun space that are going to back us. In fact, ammoland.com is very interested in supporting us both on the marketing side, but they're talking about becoming a block producer right now for the network itself. They do 4.5 million unique visitors a month on their website. So this is where our focus is going to be. We're not just a gun crypto, but we're going to focus our efforts to marketing to an industry that really needs it, that I'm very passionate about myself as a gun owner. And that's what we're doing.
Cool, man. That's pretty awesome. I like that about, the gun thing. I'm a Texan, so I do own several firearms myself. And a couple months ago, or maybe it was about a year ago, I think the first store here in Austin started accepting Bitcoin for gun purchases. I believe Nick with Huddle Fuel, I don't know if he's been on the show way back when, but he, I think, kind of spearheaded that whole campaign to get, some of the gun stores to start accepting crypto, which is fantastic.
A decentralized shooting team.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
We have a lot of interesting things we're going to do with marketing. So we're going to be relying really heavily on video production, high-end video. So one of the things that we're going to be doing next year as far as marketing, and we're looking at actually doing eventually sponsoring competition shooters and things like that. But what we're going to be doing is doing some high-end gun build giveaways. So we've already been talking to several manufacturers and high-end guns. So, like a lot of people give away crypto and do bounties and that thing. And we found through our swap that we don't believe that actually giving away crypto creates, I think it's a waste of supply. Most people that give away these free paper wallets and get it thrown in the garbage. People lose it. They don't care. It's not enough to really worry about. I don't believe that's the road to mass adoption. And I think looking back now, I think if you give something away for free, people don't respect it or value it.
Well, I mean, so, I do think there is an issue when, projects want to pay for sponsored content. I'm always a little more concerned about the ones that want to pay with their own token. Because if they want to pay with their own token, that means they don't value it very highly. Like if they think that their project is going to take off eventually and do very well, then they'll be more prone to give you Bitcoin or Ethereum because they don't want to waste their own supply on what they think is a very valuable idea. So you can basically use that to kind of gauge, no pun intended there. But to gauge how confident project is within themselves.
I absolutely agree. What we're going to do is we also found that we're going to do some custom TUSC themed guns. And it's interesting. The gun world is really heavy on Instagram. They call it Gunstagram for a reason. And actually the gun community is one of the biggest communities on Instagram. That's why it's funny because Facebook won't allow anything to do with guns as far as advertising and stuff, but they will not shut down Gunstagram because it's it's a cash cow for them.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing these high-end custom gun builds as giveaways for people to sign up for the network instead of giving away TUSC. And so we're doing that because one, it's the gun industry. Two, if you're giving away a gun, it can only be lawfully transferred through an FFL. So it decreases scammers trying to scam the free crypto. I've been in this space almost 2 years now, and people are always trying to game every kind of giveaway bounty. Yeah. It's just all full of scammers. It's not even worth the effort. But since this is going to be focused directly in our industry, and there's no way to really get it unless you're lawfully able to own a gun and go through a background check. So we figured that's a better way to grow our crypto and get people excited about the project instead of just giving away free crypto. But we're going to be doing a lot of high-end video and some fun commercials. I do a little bit of background acting as a hobby. And so I got a bunch of friends that are filmmakers. So we're bringing them in. Are you familiar with Black Rifle Coffee Company at all? Mm-mm. Okay, they've done really, really well. It's a veteran-owned company. They got a really great brand, and they've done billions of views, and they've grown their company to $200 million selling coffee. But they did it through really, really cool videos. But one of the guys that have worked on some of their videos is actually coming on our team now. We got some more advisors coming from industry on the crypto side. Tron Black, lead dev of Ravencoin, has been one of our advisors for a year and a half now. He's based here too in Salt Lake, but we have some really good people supporting us. We got 18 people working on the project right now, all decentralized. No one's paid. We have no burn rate. We have no overhead. Everybody is just working for their little bit of, developer tokens or coins now that we were able to put aside for them. So we don't have to worry about, at this point, we don't have to worry about running out of money or anything like that. We've already built our project. And once we begin trading here in about another week or two, we'll have access to the developer fund. So we can then put in proposals for things like listing fees.
That's awesome. It sounds like you guys are really shooting for the stars.
Yeah. It's been a lot of work.
Yeah,
exactly. But
no. The statement itself was not important. It wasn't even relevant. So recently we interviewed Crypto Bitlord for the channel. And he was actually in Austin at a shooting range. Did you see the video, Justin?
Yeah, it looked like he was shooting a fully automatic something.
Yeah. So somebody was saying it's very interesting when you get people from other countries that have really strict gun laws that come over to America and get to go do a shooting range or something, how much they love it. It's just I think we take for granted.
It's really interesting because that's one of the things as being in crypto, right? You get really mixed messages, right? I find the Europeans, the hardcore socialists tend to they really are freaked out about guns. Like you talk to Australians and Europeans, they get all wigged out, right? And half the United States. Asians, of all things, they seem to love guns, which is fascinating. They don't have this hatred of guns. Even for people from China, where they're not even allowed to own them, and Japan, they have a big affinity for them, which is kind of fascinating. And I think part of that's coming out of that anime world, right? These guys in video games, whereas the Europeans seem to be the big cucks when it comes to excuse my language, but they seem to be the guys that have the biggest problem with being hoplophobes and have fear of guns. And then the U.S. has been
whoa, hoplophobes.
Hoplophones. Fear of weapons.
Hoplaphobes. Okay, it's the fear of what?
Fear of weapons.
Hoplophones. Never heard of this term before. I learned something new today.
Don't be a hoplophobe.
Really, don't be a hoplophobe.
Don't.
Okay, I love that word.
But it's interesting with crypto, right? Because, guns are just one market we're looking at. We're not trying to be, we're not going to only be a gun crypto. That's just one of the places we're starting, right? To get a critical mass.
Entry point. Yeah.
It's our entry point. But we talked to 3 crypto PR firms and they all said no, they wouldn't work with us because of the gun thing, which was interesting. 3 of them. I'm not going to say who they are. They were all bitches.
Nerds. It's because they're nerds.
Bunch of nerds.
I will say that 1 was in New York and 2 were in California. So that's about enough said on that. But I thought that was interesting. And I think
you should come on down to Georgia. Come on down to Georgia. We'll hook you up.
Yeah.
Come to Utah. People would cry if they saw what most people have in their basements around here. I know of 3 suppressor manufacturers in Salt Lake alone. We have a huge manufacturing base here in Utah as far as guns and related stuff. One of the first people that are going to be accepting TUSC is a body armor company. They're not even a gun company, but they're based here. So Citizen Armor, they're very excited about the project and they're going to be accepting TUSC. One of the things that we found with how we're going to, our focus is again at retailer adoption because we're solving a problem for them, and they love the idea. And what they're going to be doing, and kind of our strategy, is that they're going to be actually giving their customers a discount for paying them in TUSC because because people in this industry are paying out, if they can get a merchant account, which is difficult, they're paying outrageous fees, anywhere from 4 to 6% plus fees every month just to maintain a basic merchant account. And then because of terms of service, gun people they're not allowed to use Cash App, they're not allowed to use Venmo, PayPal, Stripe, Square, coin payments, token pay, or BitPay.
Oh, wow.
All of them prohibit guns in their terms of service. So some of them try to stay.
Well, what are they going to do with these babies?
So
if you're listening and not watching, I just flexed for you guys. So you guys know the guns
showed
over
his
here.
Beautiful biceps.
Dude,
that's right. The beautiful BB guns.
So what we found is that these guys don't even have the option to use so many online platforms at all.
Right.
So, and even in the crypto side of things. And part of the problem is it's the banking relationships all those third-party gateway providers have. So to solve that, what we're doing is we're actually working with some people to do an open source payment gateway that people can just plug in and download into WordPress, or it's going to be WooCommerce base is going to be our first one, and then probably Magento. So instead of relying on a third party that then tacks on another fee, they'll be able to be their their own payment gateway. So again, it's decentralized. And if they're hosting on WooCommerce, it's open source. And then if they're on a friendly host, they're not going to get shut down, which is what's happening all across the board. And so since we've just said, hey, if they're already paying 5 to 6% or whatever, we say, just discount to your customers 2%, you're going to make, we're only 0.5% roughly or less. And so you're going to still make 3% more working with us and using TUSC. And so when you pitch it like that, tell them there's no chargeback, say the coins are instantly in your bank account, and you have an insurance policy against the debanking because these guys are getting debanked regularly. It's been an easy sell. And then on top of that, we have a merchant directory we have on the main website. And so we're going to add all those people, especially the first adopters. They're all going to get a free bit of marketing that they're working with us. So it's like they can't say no because it's just there's no risk for them.
Oh, I was going to say, that's a good position to be in. Yeah, no risk. It's low risk for them. So.
It's just, yeah. And so the marketing partner for TUSC, we're going to be focused on really holding people's hands. That's our goal until we can reach a critical mass and then integrate with some of the major retail point of sale systems that are already out there in the gun space. There's about a half dozen of them. We've already been talking to a couple of them. We just need to basically prove ourselves at this point and get out there. And that's what we've been doing. But we've been kind of laying that groundwork now for good 8 months, talking to folks. We got a lot of manufacturer support, even for the custom gun builds. We got some manufacturers like Dead Air Silencers has already agreed to support us and give us a silencer to put in the package. So, I mean, that's a pretty major player in the space. So we just got the back of the industry. And the cool thing is most of the team are gun guys. So this isn't even like weird, like we're just trying to inject ourselves into some like the gambling industry, but we don't even live in Vegas or whatever. No, we're not doing that. We are gun people. I build guns myself all the time it's a hobby. I'm a, hobbyist gunsmith. So to me, this is just like, I get to I was telling my wife, Christy, who's one of our co-founders as well. And I said, I get to now buy gun stuff and be around gun people and go to gun ranges, and it's our business. That is the coolest thing ever. So I'm real excited about the industry. So to me, it just made a great bit of sense. And out of all those industries that are struggling with banking right now, guns are the only one that's constitutionally protected. I mean, all the other ones are like, and don't get me wrong. I think cannabis should be legal for everybody. And, I think, victimless crimes aren't crimes. I mean, I kind of come from that ethos. But if you look at those industries, there's only one that really is protected. So to me, it's a good place to start. Are they
so cannabis dispensaries and stuff? They still can't do traditional banking. I know that they've had a hard time, and most of the time you can't even use a credit card. You got to use a debit card or cash. It's really the only way to transact.
So I was in Colorado and I knew a lot about that industry too. The problem is that all big banks are federally regulated. And so what happens is it's federal law. You can't traffic drugs money. It's a federal law. So it's like it's the banking relationship part there. Now, I do believe in the cannabis industry, they're trying to change some of that. So the banks are off the hook from a liability standpoint, but it's still the same thing, even in the States. So there are some banks that will work on it. It tends to be local banks and things like that in the states that it is legal. It's absurd, but yeah, it's still a problem. And don't get me wrong, I think somebody could be, there's some people, there's like a couple different projects trying to be the crypto for the pot industry. There's Potcoin and a few of others, but they just haven't been getting traction. And I think this is what I think it comes down to. No, besides stoners are not real motivated, but no offense to the stoners.
I was going to make that joke and you took it from me for sure.
They're not. But basically this comes down to brute force. We're going to have to knock on doors. We're going to have to do sales and marketing. And it's not just like, I'm going to do a press release on Medium and that's my marketing. That's not marketing. Marketing means you go to the freaking gun store and you hold your meetups at gun stores and you talk to the owner and say, this is how we'll fix this and we'll make this work for you. That's marketing. That's sales. That's business development. And we're prepared to do that. And we've been doing that already. So I think that's our value add. Whereas we're going in with all the pieces to make a retailer comfortable, accepting crypto. Now, I was a retailer. I've been a serial entrepreneur for a long time. Dealing with the tax piece is a pain in the ass. How do you integrate with the accounting? What accounting system are you doing? How are you tracking and helping this business owner now take crypto, but how are you making it easy for him? So what we're doing is we're kind of going in with a basket of all the things they need to conduct their business to accept crypto. Not only the marketing piece, not only the integrations with the payment gateways and all that kind of stuff, and helping them hold their hand, But we're trying to go in and say, look, we're going to work with probably TaxBit or one of these other companies to come up with a solution that'll plug into their QuickBooks point of sale or whatever, so they can do every piece of the business all the way through. And I don't see any other projects out there in the crypto space doing that, let alone a decentralized project.
Nice. So when you guys launch shortly, do you know what your token price is going to be starting out at?
We don't have any control over that because the market controls that. So we're not doing we're not doing an ICO or an IEO. But I do know that we're going to be only on Bitcoin pairs. So depending on the exchange, we should probably be minimum of Satoshi, which would be more than what we were when we stopped. Because our market cap was only like $500,000 or 600,000 or something when we did. So that would still be a boost for where we started, but we're not doing anything. We don't have any control over it. The market sets the price. As much as I would love it to be 80 Satoshis, it's probably going to be 1 or 2 Satoshis, I'm guessing. The market tends to like dedicated coins on their own chains more than tokens. We squished our supply down from 100 to 50 billion during the swap. So we did a 2-to-1 swap ratio. All coins and tokens got squished at the same rate. So it's just the percentages don't change, but the market seems to like smaller supplies a little better. So I honestly don't know how the market's going to react to that. I hope favorably. And the fact that we're working and we already are talking to some bigger exchanges out of the gate. So I think we're going to, as soon as we can liquidate a little bit of the developer fund and the marketing fund to go through and pay some listing fees, I think we're going to be, whatever that process takes, we'll be getting on some bigger exchanges as soon as we can.
Absolutely. Well, Rob, that was exciting to hear all about TUSC. Will you let everyone know where they can find you, social media, website, stuff like that?
Sure. Easiest is TUSC.network, and that's TUSC.network.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's definitely been great, very informative. We're all about guns here on the show, so definitely excited to see this progress, and I'm going to have to go check out Gunstagram. So thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
We'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Bye.
We got this shit knocking.